Upper left-hand corner spawning as our evil geniuses Zerg. Everybody please raise your dongers for Jaedong. Lower right-hand corner spawning as our blue Protoss is IVD Gaming's puCK. Apparently he's had an account made for him. Someone did make it for him, or yeah, it could just be a freebie. Who knows? But this map, stopping to think about what we could see on it for a minute, you know, I don't want to try and overanalyze it, but I think, you know, a Protoss attacking up into the natural, it's highly situational, but this position, I don't know what to say to that. I'm not a very good analytical caster, let's just put it that way. Time to get the production tab up. Don't want to pull a greed torp by any means. But here we are with the game unveiling before our very own eyes. Jaedong does an extractor trick. Alright. Trademark, if you will, of his playstyle. And puCK gonna do what? No gateway opener. Alright. I was thinking perhaps, just perhaps, you know, it could be, you know, cannon rush shenanigans, if you will, but that's certainly not the case here. Alright, so get the natural going here pretty soon from Jaedong. That was a hatch first, so I don't know. Maybe a cannon rush would have been perfectly normal or perfectly, what's what I'm looking for, viable. Because of course there's a spot where you can actually lock those cannons in and keep a Zerg player from getting to them using Zerglings and workers. Okay, so for the time being, whoa, that's really greedy. This is a Zerg that loves money. Okay, so here we go. Gateway, you know, I think if puCK was to just straight up 4-gate from here, he would definitely win, but that's not the most viable. I mean, well, I would be positive he would win. But I mean, it's not always the most viable move to do as a Protoss. Given the amount of vision that he has right now, the amount of knowledge that he has right now, I don't think he's going to do that. He's going to find out pretty soon that there's a spawning pool going down. At least I think he would. He's going to go into the natural with this probe. If not the third, straight into the main, actually. He's not even going to see the third base. Now with the spawning pool timing, I think he's going to be able to get a good read into the fact that his opponent is going to be basically just getting a very late pool, if that makes sense. Here we go. That probe just about arrived there. Hold on, let's get a follow on him. Saw no pool there. So actually, he doesn't see the pool timing at all, so he's kind of oblivious here. Now going to the natural, oh, he doesn't even go there either. He's just, how do I say this? He's just making sure there's no 6 pool coming at him, and he doesn't see the more critical information, which is like, you know, the third base timing. Maybe there's a part of him that already knows. It's hard to say, really. I mean, like, he saw that there was no gas at the main, but I feel like his knowledge, or not knowledge, but rather the knowledge he got using that probe was, I'd say, relatively weak, very weak. Not astoundingly weak, but either way, I feel like going with a, what's what I'm looking for, 4-gate forward pressure would probably be okay in this position. Okay, so for the time being, the natural is getting more saturated. So too is the main. Second gas going down in the main, speaking of, for puCK. And we've got a forge finally going down for our IVD Protoss. Now we've got, like, he's going to get that. He's going to get that Overlord. He's not giving it up. It's like, he's got, how do I say this? Oh my god, really? Okay, well, I guess he just realized he couldn't waste any more time on it, so he's just not going to waste any more time on it. That makes sense to me. Okay. More and more queens coming out. Jaedong knows what he's going to need to have in order to hold a 3-gate, 4-gate forward pressure, if you will. But it looks like that's not even going to be the case here. It could be, you know, some feigned aggression coming from puCK, and that's it. Now just saving more and more in the way of resources. That Overlord finally disposed of. That is 3 kills on this one Stalker, by the way. And just a few slowlings going out there. I think both guys are playing a little bit in the way of mind games with each other. It's confusing a little bit. But I mean, like, using slowlings at this stage, it's a good way to scout your opponent. Yeah, wait, I think he could. Could he really? Is he going to force a cancel on this? Maybe. Maybe. No, it's a handful of gateway units. Yeah, he's got to cancel it. That is interesting. I wouldn't say amazing, but interesting. Definitely. Twilight Council going down behind this. Not entirely sure about the move from puCK, but I mean, that's a little bit dangerous in this position. He could go for a Templar Archives behind that or a Dark Shrine. But it depends on just what the plan is here coming from our IvD Protoss. And for those of you just now tuning in, I am a little bit ill. I'm trying to take it easy on the mic. I have to I have to cast like I'm a golf caster, because if I yell into this microphone, you're just going to hear a bunch of cackling, or if I get even remotely loud, you guys, you know, we all know how that's going to sound. It's just not going to sound pretty. Jaedong now going for a lot of roaches, and I think rightfully so. The question is, where does he go from here? He's got an infestation pit as well in the makes. So the question is, where is he going to go with that? Is he going to go straight into Hive Tech? Is he going to get, you know, infestors out? Is he going to play swarm hosts? I think there's a, you know, there's very diverse I guess you could say, pool of strategies that our Zerg could employ at this stage, and there's our answer. During Locust now being researched. It's going to be Swarm Hosts, and Huck is only now getting his Robo out. I feel like the Colossus could hit the battlefield a little bit too late, but it depends on what the macro of our two players would be at and what their plans are. This is going to pull out those gateway units, and the Roaches were trying to trap them. But nice positioning on the mothership, of course, saves them. The third base, not going to fall. It's going to take quite a bit of damage, but, you know, and get the shields off, of course, but it's not going to fall. 3 damage from the mothership here, and 3 kills thus far. 9, 8, 6, 9 swarm hosts already about to pop. The spread of the creep is not quite what I would imagine it would be at for our Dong here, but no, I can't be too terribly critical of him. He has his own plans. Let's just put it that way. Templar Archives now coming down as well, and the storms will be very useful in dealing with locusts, as well as anything else that we see Jaedong trying to throw at puCK, if that makes sense. Very, very effective versus Zerglings, but very late start on those upgrades. All right, so I think you can see what Jaedong's doing here. He's going for very quick Stormos to keep his opponent from moving out comfortably. And towards the late game, he's going to be working towards getting to maybe Ultralisks, perhaps. That's the only logical explanation I can think of him going for +1 melee and +1 carapace this late in the game, unless it was some kind of a mistake. Alright, so I think there's a part of puCK that should know some kind of a unit switch is coming. And, I mean, Storm's a good way to deal with it. If it was supposed to be, say, units, or not units, but rather Mutalisks. But I feel like he just doesn't, I feel like there's a part of him that just doesn't have enough vision in his opponent's main to actually determine that definitively. I'm sorry. I was actually wrong about that. He didn't spot any Spire whatsoever. 4th base going down behind this for puCK as well. So this game is actually turning into something very interesting. puCK, I think, is kind of employing the right strategies here. He knows what he can expect from his opponent, I think, now. But unfortunately, it looks like the Dong is waiting for him. There we go. Mama gets taken down, and by Mama I mean the Queen, and this is going to force those very, very precious Roaches and Lings to go out to the front lines to try and engage this. Actually, the Swarm Host will take over from here, and the Roaches and Lings will try and clean up what's here. Alright, so thus far we can actually see that the Roaches are kind of tangoing with those Zealots quite well. There's actually three more that didn't drop out of this Warp Prism initially, but now they have. And now I think this is where puCK takes advantage of the situation with his Blink Stalkers. He's got to do something with this, but he's also microing his Zealots in the main, microing that War Prism. He's got to do something with everything that he's got here. But unfortunately, not all of those not all of those units can blink like sentries. Swarm Host now repositioning. He's walking straight into a tarp, and he pulls back for the time being. +2 melee and Carapace now on the way for the Dong as well. We got Colossus working their way into the mix, and I think this is actually not going to turn out half bad for puCK. But I mean, his opponent's already fully maxed out. If he wanted to, he could just throw away units at this stage. And puCK's trying to do what he can to just, how do I say this, keep his opponent from moving out comfortably. Jaedong's not in any position to lose anytime soon, but at the same time, he just can't quite move out yet. It looks like the Stalkers just clicked on this pile of rocks as opposed to, what's the word I'm looking for? As opposed to just attacking it like it should have. Stormhost now repositioning themselves, and the puCK knows that. Adrenal Glands on the way as well. This is gonna be, whoa, this is gonna be interesting. Is what it's gonna be. And guess what? We have a Zerg that is eager to throw away all of his units. He's gonna get 1 Colossus for a handful of roaches. Not bad. Not bad at all. Okay, so the rest of those roaches are gonna kind of go to waste, I guess you'd say. Their sacrifices will be in vain. But for the time being, I mean, he's got the Dong has a plan. We can see that clearly. Conversely, puCK is trying to go Sky Toss, and I can like that move. Got, how do I say this? Getting the first couple of Void Rays into the mix is what's going to help him out a little bit. It won't be the game. It won't be the game ender. It won't be the game changer. Because his opponent's actually going for Sky units himself, Corruptors, Mutalisks, etc. Apologies as I cough. Sorry about that. Let me see here. Looks like this nice little drop harass is gonna, I wouldn't say clutch, but cutesy, doing some work. Those Zealots are, and not doing, of course, game-ending damage with that harass, but harass is harass, and it keeps your opponent off of your front door, which is the more important part for puCK. Both players are reaching that critical mass now of 200-200. However, I must stress. And with this many Colossus, I do believe that the Locusts just kind of melt before they have a chance to reach anything else. The Zealots are being thrown away as well, because there's nothing else that can be made for puCK at the moment. These Zealots are just going to be thrown away. Trying to get in there, that's not going to do too much. Right now, what I do like is that puCK is definitely trying to contain his opponent's spread of creep, because if he keeps that going, then it's just going to hurt, really, is all it's going to do. More harass. I like this move. He's using the immobility of Jaedong's army against him. Look at this. But at the same time, you know, I'm not sure if this is entirely super effective exchanging. The natural looks like it's in a bit of trouble. Oh, jeez. Crazy. But the creep spread continues, and with no way to really deal with this effectively, puCK's gonna... I feel like he's eventually gonna get starved to death. Jaedong is gonna be able to just gradually assert his territory, his dominance, his hegemony, if you will. It looks like these Zealots are just going to try and go in there and end that base's life. They do it. They do it. But it's a natural. It's a natural. That's all it is. And look at all this larva here. God. That is 18 larvae altogether. Oh, one donation. Free donation there. That's Swarmo says, hey, man, I'm supposed to be a Locust, right? Okay. Now, look at all the Colossus here. This is just crazy. That's a lot of Void Rays as well. I'm not so sure if this is going to end all that great for Jaedong. But at the same time, He's getting close to that +3/+3. Nice yoinks there as the Infestors fungal some of those guys down to the ground. No prismatic alignment tripped on those Void Rays. I don't know. I think if he spreads those Void Rays and just moves in there with prismatic alignment activated, he might be able to do something, but it's hard to say even now. But look at this. Look, it's not pretty. I don't think it's winnable for puCK. He's getting picked apart piece by piece. Reminds me of some of this old, I guess you could say, IDRA versus MC stuff, I guess you could say. There's so many spine crawlers here now for Jaedong. He's got so much economy. The Swarm hosts, the Locusts rather, just focusing down all those Colossus as soon as they get yoinked into the ocean of their brethren. I mean, if there's clearly any position where we see that puCK is losing, it's got to be here. This is just not good, you know? puCK is hitting that Nexus. That's what's keeping it from being targeted down for the time being. The probes are not so lucky. And Corruptor count is just continuing to grow. The Vipers are there. There's so much static here that I feel like if I touch my monitor, I'm just going to I'm gonna be artificially defibrillated, if you will. Zealots that were up here earlier have already been disposed of. And a handful of roaches are going to be thrown away at the natural. And of course, all these locusts just, I guess you could say, diving like lemmings, if you will. Thus far, not too much is happening. We're basically getting milked out. I wouldn't say, you know, this is awful or anything like that, but this is just a situation that's becoming exponentially more difficult for puCK to come back from. Because, you know, I mean, Jaedong's just in a position where I feel like he can't lose right now. This reminds me of Scarlet versus MVP to some extent, but at the same time, let's just say that puCK is in a position where he's not really able to build a bank. Because, of course, Swarmosts give free units, and those free units are called Locusts. Looks like, oh, wait a minute, he's going back here to try and save this base. That's, I don't know. I mean, puCK is getting divided really thin right now. He's going to sack this base. There's no saving this right now. Next wave should be the one that kills it. Oh, even this one to some extent almost got it. So puCK's like, okay, great. I have to take advantage of the poor positioning here from Jaedong to win. And that is not erroneous. Here we go. Jaedong actually doesn't have a whole lot in the way of Corruptors here, and that's what's working against him. The prismatic alignment on the Void Ray is doing so much work here, and it looks like puCK has found just like that little clink in the armor where they needed to, where he really just needed to get the, I guess you could say, that great grand engagement. Corruptors do yoink a couple of Void Rays out, and Fungal Growth going down on top of everything here. Feedback's hitting those Infestors quite thrillingly, quite rivetingly, if you will. Oh, the High Templar need to fall! Jeez, throw it a storm. Or 2, or 3, or 5, or 10. But right now, the only visible target is the Mothership, and that's it. Jaedong loses a few Corruptors. Guess what? He replaces all of those Corruptors. I mean, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, there's almost nothing that he can do about this. Or rather, when I say he, I mean puCK, by the way. Okay, there we go. More and more Corruptors coming into the mix. Void Rays will get picked off one by one. Even with Prismatic Alignment being activated on them, it's still a little bit weak. I guess you could say this is the one knockback that puCK can take. I think as long as he doesn't lose that base yet again, he'll be okay. I don't think he's realized it just yet, but this little, I guess you could say, pocket expansion at this location could actually use a few more probes on the minerals. Not trying to be nitpicky, but it looks like he probably just now realized that. No, they're all still distance mining. Now just looking for that excellent position to engage in. Oh, nice feedbacks there. Nice feedbacks. But, oh no, there goes the storms on top of all of the Corruptors. The Mothership does fall. And that means no cloaking for all of these units. The Void Rays are now just going to light up all the Spore Crawlers that are here from puCK, who's now looking for that golden engagement moment. There's no better time than now for him to attack. He's doing that right before our very own eyes. Look at the storms, scaring off all of the Swarmos. Jaedong still at a marvelous 182 supply. The storms are going to have to go down on those swarm hosts as they spawn. Indeed, they do. The DTs are picking off as many of them as they possibly can, and this is looking like a miracle turnaround game from puCK to some extent, but it looks like the Void Rays are getting fungled. Not quite stacked, though. More and more storms going down on top of the Corruptors. +3 armor and +2 carapace. Nowhere to be seen. And oh my god, Infestors getting hit just as they pop. The prismatic alignment activated on so many of these Void Rays. It looks like they might just go down relatively soon. This looks like Jaedong might be able to turn it around. I've been wrong before. 130 supply to 135, but guess what? There's the Mutalisk switch in the background that Jaedong was working so hard to time out for. The question is, can we see or can we not see puCK possibly hold versus that? Checking the income right now, puCK is at an advantage. The bank of Jaedong is spent, so if he is able to hold here, he'll be just fine. But that is a big if. Look at the Corruptors. They're gonna just get free reign all over those Colossus to some extent, and only one Corruptor falls in exchange. Not quite so fair from the perspective of our Protoss. Those Mutalisks have popped, and now here they are accompanying those swarm hosts, trying to get the push going. And I don't know if we can actually see this Zealot run by able to actually break Jaedong. This fourth base is going to fall yet again, it looks like, almost hopelessly. The carrier getting targeted down. The Void Rays coming out. Not so good for puCK. He actually thought this was going to be something completely different. 30 minutes into the game, and it looks like now this is unraveling and turning into something else from what is just completely different from what puCK thought it would be. Look now, only 2 Phoenixes versus this almost impossible to destroy number of Mutalisks. puCK does get a small victory, though. He's going to take down this base. The question is now to be asked, what can he do in this particular position? What can he do to win versus puCK? The fungal growth hitting those Zealots there. Swarmhost's going to pick off some of these probes, if not that cannon, for sure. Oh, I think, like, once this cannon falls, that's when all the probes will start to go. But the Muta's eating the inside of puCK's main from the inside out. This is just not looking good. He's being eaten alive by piranhas that dig inside of your skin. Not good for our blue Protoss. I think he's just taking a deep breath. He's backing away. He's like, okay, how am I going to win game number 2? That kind of thing. Because puCK does not want to lose game number 3 or game number 2 and go straight into the losers group. Give us just a moment.